Thank you. Good morning, distinguished colleagues of the media. It is my pleasure to welcome you once more to the office of the Press Secretary to the President for yet another presentation of presidential update or press briefing. As we all know, this platform is a nexus between the presidency and the public in terms of information dissemination. So today we have with us the Press Secretary, Mr. Aziz, who is going to address you issues surrounding the presidency. Mr. Kevin, the platform is yours.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our regular weekly press briefing. I bring you greetings from the President, from the mother of the land, and we are happy to have this exchange where we can use this medium to be able to inform the public as to what is unfolding from the office of the President. The President is good, he's in good, excellent health, and he's doing the things he has been elected to do. So he's healthy, and he's doing excellent well and serving the people of Liberia. Yesterday, the President was very grateful to our partners, most especially the United States government, for what he described as a milestone initiative when he visited the National Security Agency headquarters, Liberia complex in White Plains, Corway area. He was happy for the gesture of the American government, which signifies the solidarity and support the American is giving our security sector and other areas based on the cooperation and based on the performance of our government in fostering bilateral relationship with the American government. It's a beautiful complex, a three-story. That is, you have the ground floor, or some people call it basement, and you have three other stories up. And the President also asked, he congratulated the management for being far-sighted, because initially what we were told, the American government were asking to give some logistical support in terms of maybe vehicles and other things, but the institution deemed it necessary that the best thing to do was to give them the headquarters, and that headquarters would live for them for years and years and save the government needed revenue from paying tax, from paying rent, I beg your pardon, to those who were renting from. And I think those monies that were being used for rental will also maybe serve the purpose of getting a vehicle with, in time to come. So he was very happy that they were far-sighted, they were dreaming big, and they had a very, very, very big reward. The President also challenged them that it's not just having a building, but maintenance aspects should be handled by them. And the President has promised to work along with the U.S. government, to work along with the NSA and other partners to make sure that the road complement the building. That means the road will have to be paved. Whether he's going to use a double ceiling chip, whatever means it should have, that road has to be paved. We're not going to put time to it when, but mechanisms are being worked out now as I speak to you, so that we can get the needed support to make sure that road is paved. The President took serious exception to what happened in Maryland, but he's happy that CAM has returned to Maryland, and has showed citizens of Maryland that the law will take its course, and those who were responsible, who allegedly took the life of other people, will be brought to justice, and those who went on the rampage as well, taking the law into their own hand, will have to give account of what they did in keeping with the law. So basically, the country tour, the President has successfully completed 2 phases. Phase 1, of course, took us to 6 counties, central Liberia and part of the southeastern region. That included Bone County, Nimba, Grand Jide, Rivergy, Maryland, and will climax the first leg, of course, in the Grand Croix County, where some of you were part of that. You saw the reception and you saw how grateful the president was to interact with the people. The president promised a lot of stuff in each of the counties. Most of the things were unique. Some were for markets, groundbreaking for schools, for hospitals, you name it. The second phase took us to Western Liberia, where the president had a lengthy engagement in Bomi County, in Bapolo, and of course it was climaxed in Grand Cape counties. Most of the places where the president went, we understand after we left or while we were there in some of the counties, the street lights were switched on, and people can, at least for the first time in their life, see street lights in their own cities. And the president has promised that that will be replicated in every major city in all of the sub-political divisions of our country. The third leg of the president county tour is expected to begin soon, although the middle part of this month. But dates are now being finalized. The technicians from the Ministry of Internal Affairs who own the tour are working on that schedule, and when it's approved, you'll be informed duly. The third phase will be taking us to Magibi, Grand Bassa, Riverside, and Sino counties. So basically, the president is going to continue this engagement that we did in the other counties. So basically, we will have town hall meetings, we will have groundbreaking ceremonies, you will have engagement with every stake actors in those counties when the tour begins. We beg your indulgence. It's a kind of a difficult to have every institution represented. So sometime when we are rotating, we hope that people will be able to accept that. People will see it in good faith. And those of you that will be selected to go, you have to be very generous enough to share with your friends that won't be on the trip. Whether it's picture, we'll do the best we can from our own platform to post the pictures that you will need. But let's do it in good faith, so that with the purpose for which the kind of meeting is intended take place. You know, the president is very, very happy. And on three separate occasions, he has commended the media, whether those that were on the trip or those that were covering from a distance, that he was pleased with the performance. It's not that he wanted things to be all positive, but to say exactly what is happening. And the way you were putting out the story was very good. He was very impressed. I know it's very difficult for each and every one of us to 100% agree all of the time, but let's do the best we can do so that our people can be informed. So the president is very happy with the coverage. We hope that you will continue that, so that we can promote the common good of our nation, of the counties, and of our people. That's what matters most. Recently, the president was in Niger to attend the inauguration of President Mohamed Bazoum of Niger in Niamey. They were happening. Most of the West African leaders were there. They joined other world leaders because this was another historic event in the history of Niger since they got their independence in 1960. There has never ever been transition of power from one democratically elected president to another one. It has always been either from coup to another elected president, or another elected president is overthrown. So for two people that were elected by the people to hand over power for the first time. So most of the West African leaders, and world leaders were in attendance to make sure that they tread the path of democracy. They should have respect for the institution, because that place is also challenged. While the president was there, he had the opportunity to have engagement with other leaders from the bloc in terms of enhancing security in the Sahel. As you all are aware, Liberia has peacekeeping troops in Mali, and they are faced with a lot of challenges there in terms of fighting the jihadists and whatsoever. So he had a meeting that they need to be united, they need to be at one front to make sure that peace reign within our region. Also, late last week on Saturday, there was a 13 million scholarship drive for students in grade school students in the Bond County. That was launched by the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. She's from Bond County, and was supposed to launch by the dreamer or the visionary of that particular program, Minister Nathaniel Falomage. He had a vision. I just want to make it clear, some people have already reported that this is a government initiative. It's not a government initiative. People who believe in education giants like the President of the Republic of Liberia, Nathaniel Falomage, and some of his friends, that their own vision of helping the buttress government efforts. So their friends and other friends of education, other friends of Bond County contributed to have this initiative, this program taking place. So they had a dream, they had a target to raise 30 million Liberian dollars. But for them, if you have a better program like buttressing government efforts, where government is paying wise fee, while government is giving free tuition for tertiary institution and public university, I think those are grade school level parents need to also be supported. So there were a lot of people who came on board to help raise funds, and with Mr. Magate knowing how to raise money, being a friend to education, having a lot of friends, they were able to raise about 73 million instead of the 30 million. So I mean, they passed their target mark, and the chief organizer of the program, representing Marvin Cole, spelled out, gave out the means of which the money will be paid. They should by tomorrow complete the opening of the account at some banks where you can go to make the payment of the pledges, but for now they will be paid to the office of the Vice President, receipt issue, or to the office of the Minister of State, Minister Nathaniel Falomage, and then receipt will be given. So when the account is open, because they want this money to be monitored, they want this money to be used for the intended purpose, and that was a good initiative, and everybody supported the program, which of course we expect to continue. Staying with Minister Magay, who of course is the Chief of Staff to the President of the Republic of Liberia, who runs the day-to-day office of the President. Left the country today, according to my understanding, to go to Abidjan, Ivory Coast. And yesterday I had a conversation. He's going to go to the Bizan hospital to meet our colleagues that are there. 3 days ago, I got a text message from our friend and brother and colleague Jerry Gay that he has successfully had his surgery. He's in the hospital, and the two of them will be able to see Minister Magay before he leaves Ivory Coast, and we are all asked to keep them in prayers so that they can recover, and one of these days be able to join us so that we can all share the work we do, serve our people, and cover the presidency. Finally, before we take a few questions, tomorrow the president is expected to grace the dedicatory ceremony of the Tusa sports pitch that have been refurbished. I'm told that Senate fee, that half fee, has been covered with turf, almost like the Anthony Tackman Stadium, I beg your pardon, ATS. So that program takes place tomorrow in Ghanansville by 10 o'clock. So for now, these are the briefing we have for you. We'll take a few questions about what we talk about, and probably other issues of concern if we are close with the authority to address them. If they fall directly within the direct coverage of the president, then of course we will address them. So Ellis, please moderate the questions. We will take a few questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you know the routine. If you have a question, just raise your hand, call your name and an institution, and go from there. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. My name is Africa Kamara. I work for PLBC. One question quickly: does the government have a plan? There's rumor lingering around that the government has a plan to reconduct a referendum since all of the prepositions that it put forth did not pass. Does the government have such plan?
Well, I think this government is one of the best governments of our time in terms of respecting the will and wishes of our people. Yes, the referendum was held. People chose to vote the way they voted. They believe maybe either they want the president to serve 12 years instead of 11 because they see in the work he's doing. So they opted not to reduce the tenure of the presidency, which of course they said the representative or the senator should continue to go ahead with what they want to do. So if there would be a need for another referendum, the government will work that out because there are procedures that has to be issued a year in advance before that can happen. The only thing I know that is taking place now is the census. Of course, people are now going around taking stock of what we have, schools, medical centers and other facilities before the full and actual census take place. So for now, we are talking about census. Referendum is not on the plate now, but the president is very grateful to our people who voted their choice, their decision they made, and he will continue to respect the views of our people.
My name is Dane Freyu and I report for Kings FM. The president happens to be the CRC, and there were reports about this situation in Maryland County, and there were some media reports that security personnel were being dispatched from Monrovia to Maryland County to help calm down the situation. I'd like to find out whether the government has planned to be able to do national security recruitment to help buttress the efforts of the current security.
Well, I will leave that to the security to decide, but I think if there's a need, those in the security sector, they will make that recommendation as to whether they are under strength, whether they need to beef up in terms of number, in terms of training, whatsoever. They will make that decision. But we are glad that the president took the action he took. It was necessary to save lives and property. It was safe to bring sanity to Plebo City, Maryland, part of Maryland that had issues. And I can say with the intervention made, CAM has returned to Maryland. And what is left now is that we are working together to ensure that justice takes its course.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Denise Nipson and I report for Joy FM TV. Throughout the president tour, the first phase and the second phase, he made mention about 2 million grant to the market women, and according to him, he will ensure that it be proposed to the legislature. So I want to know how soon is that plan, and now that he's back, has he embarked upon such proposal to the House? And secondly, you may mention the counties that will be captured under the third phase. Why is it that Lofa County is not mentioned? Is the president avoiding Lofa County?
Well, let me start with the last question. Lofa wasn't mentioned because on the third leg, the president is not going to Lofa. Lofa will be covered after we come from the next leg. Like the president has always said, every county, every political division of our country voted him, including Lofins, although he did not win Lofa outrightly, but there were a lot of people that voted him. And that is a testimony to his government, where we have a lot of people from Lofa serving as from minister to any other thing you want to talk about. Deputy minister, minister proper, and so the list goes on. The president does not discriminate as to whether this person like him or doesn't like him. All he wants to do is to make sure that the resources, as he has always said, that the resources of the country, okay, are decentralized, that the people of this country deserve him as any other counties. So this is why you see most of the development things he's doing, he's trying to take it from Monrovia to take it to the counties. And the only way that can happen is for you to be able to have engagement with the people. I can tell you for sure, some of the things that are happening along the Lofa Road, other things happening in Lofa. When we get to Lofa, you will see and you will know that this president does not discriminate. He believes that every county is part of Liberia. It's not only one county that makes up Liberia. All of the counties made up Liberia. They deserve him. He's going to go there. He's going to have the same engagement with them and do some of the things he did in those counties. If we're not careful, Lofa might even get better than other counties that people think are more loyal to the president than ever. So yes, he's going to go to Lofa. The Ministry of Internal Affairs is responsible to work out the president's schedule because they directly work with the local people. This is why sometimes in the past it was called Ministry of Local Government, but the president is going to go to Lofa. When the Lofa time comes, we announce it. When we went to the Southeast for the first time, we didn't mention Lofa because the president was not going to Lofa. When we visited the Western Cluster, we didn't mention Lofa because the president was not going to Lofa. And I'm not going to mention Grand Crew because the president is not going to Grand Crew now. If the president will have to go to Grand Crew, probably you'll be going there, you'll be going to Bagley, probably, I'm using the word probably, to honor the invitation of the president of Liberia. They have invited him to grace the occasion on May 3rd. I'm not saying the president go there, but if he's to go there, probably will be that invitation and we will make mention of Bagley, but not on the county tour. So we only make mention of the counties that the president is visiting. I didn't talk about Moserado County, but you didn't ask for Moserado, and you are right there in Moserado County. Not on the tour. So if he's here, he's not going to just come from rehab to come to foreign affairs to make an office. You go to Bento, any other tour, Kirisbury, and whatsoever, bro, and that's it. So basically, Lofa, definitely the president is going to Lofa. He's going to go to Lofa. Probably the president might spend more time in Lofa than even in another country because it's a very big country and he wants to interact with the people.
The first one has to do with 2 million.
Yeah, okay, so that 2 million story, whether the president has submitted the request or not, you always hear about. You see, some of our people, mostly the rural women, they don't need a lot. Some of them looking for like $200 to improve their business, some want $500, some even want less. So the $2 million that was secured, the president said, well, if the national legislature can pass that, right? I mean, every year, so that if maybe Mary Jeans and Co didn't get this time, Dennis and group can get, Dede and Pavle can get, Solo Kebwe and this can get. So it's a kind of something that will all go around. So, and I'm happy that some of the lawmakers that have been on the trip, like Representative Snow, has said that he's going to join that campaign and he's going to make sure, I mean Senator Snow, sorry, I'm not carrying you back, Senator. Ruro, forgive me. So Representative Senator Snow said that he's going to join that campaign and he will make sure if it comes before the table, they are going to pass it. So I think we will see it go through, whether it's now, whether it's 2 or 3 months from now. But I can tell you, probably the next budget year or the other one, I'll show our lawmakers who believe in the people, who want to support their own people, will not hesitate in passing it.
Yeah, hello.
Thank you. My name is Dennis. 2 quick points. You just covered the Western region. The legal report, the Eddie Startup, who happened to be one of the considered members of the coalition or protect on tour. How true it is? And if yes, what may have pointed out? 2, Chris May came up with a timing statement against government. Is government prepared to respond to the congressman?
Well, let me start with the last question. This is a government, a very responsible government. Whatever statement that came from the office of the congressman you're talking about, the government is going to approach this diplomatically if there's a need. We have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have the American ambassador. So this government is going to handle that situation responsibly. That have people define a government, and so that is being worked out. And I think I read from one of the dailies that carried that the ambassador said the Congress does not speak for the U.S. government, but no matter what the case is, this government is going to handle the situation responsibly because it's a responsible government, and that's what she's doing. The first question was what? Okay, Ellis Tyler, I'm not in the know as to whether he boycotted, but I know there are a lot of places we went. There were some people who rode on the CDC ticket, the coalition ticket, they were never there. I don't know whether it was a boycott or they have other engagement. Even in other places we went, some of the lawmakers that are sitting were not there. I don't know whether it was a boycott or they had other engagement. And so I won't want to delve into that rumors. I don't want to buy that rumor. Ellis Tyler is a citizen, free citizen. He has the right to engage in whatever he wants to do. He has his right to out of form part of I'm from Sino. I could say for other reasons. If I don't go to Sino, do you call it a boycott? In case the president gave me the tax to perform. I'm from Sino, and I'm always proud to be from Sino. So what I'm saying is, let Ellis Tyler, maybe he just want to signal it out, but there are other places who win. Other people that are part of the coalition were not there. The essence of the country tour is to afford the president the opportunity to have one-on-one interaction with his people, to know exactly what they are thinking, what they need. Ellis Tyler is part of the coalition. He's still part of the coalition until he can pull out. He's still a member of the coalition, and he's respected for that. He will be treated like that. So if you didn't see him and he said there are lingering report, I want you to do a favor, do an investigation of that report as to why he wasn't there. But I don't know. I don't want to call it a boycott until he tell him, maybe he can come and say yes, he boycotted for this, for that. Fine, but until then, probably he had other engagement. This is why you are not present. So if there is no further question, thank you for your time. Thank you for the support. Like I said, the next phase of the country tour is just around the corner. It could be a week from now, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, but definitely from all indications, I'm sure it will be this month. And we are going to work with the leadership, not to say they will make the final decision as to who to go, but we'll have consultation in terms of how we do, how we rotate some of you people, so that when we are not there, there will be other voice for us that yes, we have some level of consultation as to what we do. So once again, the president has commended you for your efforts, for the coverage you provided. Please continue to do the same. Ellis Joma, I heard that your boss is not too well, right? We wish him speedy recovery. We'll try to place the call. We'll try to see if we can reach out to him. Otherwise, gentlemen, thank you for coming, and we hope to see you next Tuesday.